AKing. What's going on, everybody in the crypto world, crypto space? This is AKing Risen, and we got yours truly, Crypto Azzy. As
in the building. Crypto Azzy in the building.
So,
good morning.
What we're gonna do, guys? I'm actually out in where am I? I think I'm in Orlando, and we're going to go over the crypto events, crypto news, pricing, Bitcoin, of course, your altcoins. So what we're going to do is that the first half of this, we're going to allow Crypto Azzy to speak on. See, I always get calls when I go live. So we're going to allow Crypto Azzy to speak on the news, the events, fundamentally what's going on. After she covers that, then we'll take a look at the price, and we'll see how our investments are doing. If Bitcoin is going to slide more, Bitcoin's going to go up some or pump in price. I had a survey, and it was almost 50-50. I was surprised as far as how we felt. If Bitcoin was going to go to $4,000 first, or if it was going to $10,000 first. So we're going to speak on those things and really hash this thing out, try to look at this in a critical, analytical way, try to be as beneficial and useful as possible to you guys. So pour on in. I want you guys to like this video. I want you guys to heart this video. I want you guys to share this video because we're going to go over some fantastic content, get in some amazing discussion. So I'll make sure everybody gets the opportunity to hear this. And with no further ado, we're going to let Crypto Azzy take the stage and tell us just tell us what's going on in this crypto world, the rumors, the news. And how was your weekend, by the way?
Weekend was great. It was interesting. Just getting to meet some of my friends. Did some crypto research. It's non-stop crypto research every day, by the way. I get no breaks. My phone is always blowing up questions. But yeah, it went too quick. Can't believe it's Monday already. There's always a million things going on in the space. So I just want to quickly shout out Chris Chapman, Kenya Myers, Nick Ross, Timothy Brooks. Good morning. I see you commenting. Just waiting for the rest. So I'm gonna get straight into it. So guys, wow, it's been an eventful few days, I will say. I will start right off with what happened with Bakkt, B-A-K-K-T. It's a new startup company which is founded by the owners of AKing. This is the project, as you may have read, in regards to Microsoft getting involved, Starbucks getting involved, the Boston Consulting Group getting involved. And there's been some, descriptions for it saying this could be, the major news that we've been waiting for this year. It's going to be launching in November, and it basically plans to make Bitcoin a mainstream currency, taken in terms of their adoption, taking it from where it is to proper mainstream, and for it to become a more stable investment vehicle. So what they're trying to do with the startup company is provide a regulated exchange for institutional investors, but they're also planning to hopefully replace credit cards and get Bitcoin into people's 401k. You heard that right, 401k. So the owner of AKing, they've teamed up with Starbucks, Microsoft, and Boston Consulting Group in an effort to try and fix some of the problems that Bitcoin is experiencing, and trying to make it a trusted global currency with broad usage. And I say this because I think with Bitcoin already, it's already trustless. It's already, decentralized and used worldwide. I will touch upon that later. What they're trying to establish is a fast, secure, efficient global marketplace for crypto. So what they're trying to do is basically make it more cost effective, They're trying to make it less volatile in the space as well. And this startup is going to be open source. It's going to be a neutral platform. And it's key. This is the key part, is going to be meeting regulatory requirements. And this will help to satisfy institutional investors who are waiting on the sidelines before they come in masse. And they are targeting the largest financial institutions in the world. And they're basically trying to clear the way for major money managers to offer Bitcoin mutual funds, pension funds, and exchange traded funds, ETFs as well. And they're going to be, again, highly regulated, and they're trying to bring that mainstream. And this is the reason why they think it's going to be mainstream, because they've been speaking to big money managers, and the big money managers have been saying that there's, tens of millions of current investors at the moment, and also future investors that do want Bitcoin and cryptos involved. They do want to get access to it, but only if it can be packaged as mutual funds and ETFs. They want the protection and security that the regulated exchange would bring. And they see that the Bitcoin has a lot of appeal within the short decade. It's been growing, and it's bore fruits. It's not just the currency, obviously, but the technology, the underlying technology that has been causing the world to talk about this, but also to act upon it. And they see it like a store of value, just like gold or silver, a digital store of value. Now, here's the thing though. They say two things are missing at the moment: trading on an official exchange and safe storage, custody. Remember, we mentioned this for the last few weeks. They're waiting for institutional grades. A lot of news has been coming out. Institutional grade infrastructure has been starting to be built. And we're waiting for regulatory frameworks to be implemented, clarity on that. The CFTC and the SEC to pave the way with that clarity that we need, and global regulations, and the G8 and the G20 and other governments to give us to lay the pathway for that before billions of dollars come into the space from institutional investors. Now, they're saying unless they can buy the tokens on a federally regulated exchange and store the tokens for their investors in these accounts that are proven to be super secure, they're not going to step into it. They may continue over the counter, but they're not going to come in en masse. And so just let me break it down further. So the SEC, it oversees stocks, bonds, and other securities. And they did mention recently Bitcoin and Ether, that they don't consider them as securities. And they're taking a wait and see approach with this. And then with the CFTC, they think it's a commodity. So while Bitcoin isn't considered a security, it's deemed to be a commodity. So the CFTC, they regulate commodity futures and options on the futures as well. So we're talking anything from soybeans, gold, crude oil, you name it. So as a commodity, Bitcoin futures could only trade on a CFTC regulated futures exchange before they get involved. It's called the designated contract market. Now, here's the thing. We know the CBOE and the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and Chicago Board's Option Exchange, they already have Bitcoin futures contract. And the contracts are settled. They're not settled by delivering actual Bitcoins. They're settled in cash based on the movement of the price of Bitcoin. So it's basically a vehicle for betting on the future price of Bitcoin. So what this means basically is that Bitcoin's designation as a commodity, it opens the gates. It's a huge opportunity for ICE, the owner of the New York Stock Exchange, to come in They've been secretly doing research, background testing, working for years now. And let me let you know, in regards to ICE, they operate the two of the largest commodities future exchanges on the planet, right? They have ICE futures US and ICE futures Europe. So this is huge. This is exactly what the market has been waiting on, but it hasn't really reflected in the price at the moment. I'll explain that later as well. So it's not only that though, they're planning to take on retail and payments as well. So they're hoping that Bitcoin could basically replace your credit cards, and that, you know, they're trying to scale it with Backed. They're trying to use it to scale up the system for institutional investors, the merchants, and consumers. And basically, this will provide greater efficiency, give more security, and more utility as well. So they're building this collaborative open platform, and it will, in their words, unlock a transformative potential of digital assets across different global markets and commerce. So it will, if this goes as planned, you know, this is, they're hoping will disrupt the world of retail payments by moving consumers from swiping their credit cards to scanning their Bitcoin apps. Now, the market opportunity, guys, is huge. It really is. Just to give you an idea, consumers worldwide, I mean, you guys may be paying your, if you know, your credit cards, you've got your fees that you have to pay, or online shopping fees. This total is $25 trillion a year in annual purchases. This is every year, $25 trillion we are paying in fees to these credit cards, to these online shopping, you know, merchants, in fees. So here's the thing, they've been building this for the past 14 months. They've been building Backed. And the name, just in case you're wondering, because it's a bit funny sounding and it looks strange as well, the name of the company was only decided in the last 2 weeks. So this news came out in the last couple of days, but they only came up with the name, and it's on a play. It's play on Backed, the word Backed, as in asset-backed securities. And it's meant to basically give you this, you know, imagine a highly trusted investment, this image, this feeling. So it really does play to those that want security and trust. So, and Starbucks, they will allow their customers to pay their frappuccinos, their paninis, whatever they buy, with Bitcoin. Now, the fact that Starbucks and Microsoft are getting involved, it does strongly signal that they're looking to revolutionize the way consumers pay at the mall or online. And, you know, as you guys know, Starbucks is in every corner of the street of everywhere, like all of the, you know, different countries we have, majority in the developed world, and they're already a leading player in encouraging consumers to to pay with their smartphones rather than their credit cards. So with Microsoft being on board as well, they have something called Azure Cloud Business, and basically it's huge. It serves a lot of retailers worldwide. It handles, you know, back office tasks and stuff, from invoice processing to e-commerce. So the fact that Starbucks is involved in developing, so they're getting involved with this, you know, regulated application, is hopefully going to be, you know, they're saying it's going to be trusted and practical. And, you know, for them to convert their Bitcoins into US dollars for use at Starbucks, it'd be done with that app. Now, there are some concerns in regards to tax implications. They haven't spoken on that, which is, you know, something to be, you know, note that, to observe that part. What will happen in regards to that? Will there be, on the app, will there be a part to help you track your, you know, spending, so you know, you can upload that information for tax reporting purposes? We don't know. They haven't commented on that. So that's interesting that they haven't talked about that yet. Now, the founder of ICE, the CEO, he owns New York Stock Exchange. And as you guys, some of you may know, it is the biggest stock exchange in the world. And he has basically a reputation of turning failing projects or businesses around. He turned $1 at the 20 in the last 25 years. He turned $1 into $44 billion by turning around a failing electricity exchange. And he worked his way up to owning the second largest financial exchange in the world, behind the CME. So, just to give you an idea as well, ICE owns 12 exchanges. And with the New York Stock Exchange, it trades over 1.5 billion shares a day. So, but here's the interesting part. This is what really got me thinking. ICE also owns ARCA, ARCA. So ARCA is the world's, it's the largest marketplace for ETFs. So, and by the way, the CEO of BACT is going to be his wife. And both husband and wife, they brainstormed this for 5 years to find a strategy to, for digital currencies, for Bitcoin. How do they profit from this? How do they get in? And they said something along the lines of, they get excited about big things that for most people seem to have no answer. Now, they've been planning this for some time. The fact that they've been planning this in secrecy, and they bought Coinbase as well in 2015. They bought a minority stake to figure out how this, the space works, and they wanted a piece of it as well. And they said something interesting, that Coinbase has twice as much customers as Charles Schwab. So, and that many of these people that have opened the accounts with Coinbase, they're millennials. I want you to remember that word, millennials. This is where the money, where the future is, where they're going to be focused on, and what they're building towards to take advantage of. And they use Coinbase to make small investment in cryptocurrencies. So, they said this as well. Millennials do not trust traditional financial institutions, and they're right. There's been a big shift, a big trend, and one of the reasons why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchain has absolutely been huge in terms of the growth, and in terms of the adoption, and in terms of all these different projects, and the advent of ICOs coming in, and so on. It literally is one of the fact that it's a decentralized nature, and there's, cuts out the middleman, and that it's a peer-to-peer network. All these features, all these advantages, it plays into the narrative that, the traditional financial institutions are broken. They're manipulative. They, brought the world economy to its knees. They still haven't been gelled. The majority, the people that deserve to be gelled, still haven't been gelled. And where's the accountability? Where is justice? So for them, it's like, what, we're going to think of a new solution. We're going to create our own systems. That's how we beat them. And now they're terrified. That's the truth. They're not going to scream it from the top of the roof. They're terrified, and they're scared with this technology they can't control. So they want to in any way, shape, or form develop, or acquire control is number one on their mind. It's not just the money. Trust me when I say this. It's the ownership of systems. So the fact that millennials don't trust traditional financial institutions, what they're doing to gain their trust, banks, brokerage, asset managers, they can use a cryptocurrency that millennials believe in, like Bitcoin, and they're going to find a way that they can get involved, profit from it, and grab as much of that pie as possible. So if BACT works as planned, it's going to lead to new Bitcoin funds. is going to try and meet demand from for the cryptocurrency, they're trying to make it more safe and easy choice. And here's the thing though, they're going for, hello?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they're looking for a millennial, they're targeting millennials getting their first 401ks. So the fact that Wall Street could then tap into Bitcoin's popularity as an alternative to stocks and bonds, they're going to try and generate huge trading volumes. And with that flood of, you know, institutional buying and selling, it basically, they're trying to take, you know, some of the volatility out, some of the fear out, because we know it has wild swings in prices. And here's another thing I found out. Apparently 80% of digital currencies are owned by hedge funds, and this is according to Fortune, that figure 80%. And so today
I hate to interrupt. So before we get too far, that's a really good point you're about to make. So when we're speaking about this institutional interest, and let me play not necessarily devil's advocate, but let me just play, you know, like I'm completely new. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. Why is that good? Like, why is that good as far as the actual valuation of Bitcoin? So with these ETFs coming in with Starbucks, all this institutional players, like, why is that good for us as far as the price is concerned?
Well, it's been reported over the last couple of months that the impact of these big boys about to come in, they're waiting for regulations and custody to be resolved first.
So now that they come in, what happens as far as the actual price? Because I know a lot of times we kind of get lost in the news and the rumors and everything, and I kind of want to, you know, bring this all back in full circle. So with all these people coming in, all this interest coming in, what I keep hearing is still the assignment or attachment to paper or the dollar. So we talk about them coming in with futures, et cetera, but they're cashing out in dollars. We talk about institutional players coming in, but we're paying taxes in dollars. So I don't know if we're losing ourselves in this path, because I thought the whole point of Bitcoin was to have financial sovereignty, was to have
Absolutely
trust the system. But it seems like the more they come in, the more they centralize crypto, instead of honoring the decentralized intention. So I feel like they're banking Bitcoin. That's exactly how I feel. Am I missing something? Like, help me understand.
I was going to touch upon that actually. I'm going to give both sides of the argument, and I'm literally going to break everything down. There's good and bad. Let me tell you, this news is huge, and it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, and I'll explain why. Bitcoin is supposed. I mean, the idea of relinquish control, it scares them. And the fact that they're bringing in the money, the price will be manipulated, the price will moon, but then they will you know, manipulate the market and dump it. But what's about to happen in the space is not to be missed, and I'll explain why. With the way the technology, they're going to set up technology, I'll break it down in a moment, but let me just explain how why this is important. Basically, with the clearing
before we get into that, and they got this little Caribbean Jamaican music playing, and everybody knows, you know, I'm from the islands. I'm an original rude boy, so like I really want to go ahead and hit a two-step on you guys right now, but I'm trying to control myself. But go ahead. All right, now go ahead.
Okay, it'll make more sense if I just explain why these things you have to make a note of. So okay, so first of all, we've backed, it's building an integrated solution. Here's the thing I need you to remember they talked about storage. They said that they're going to have a warehouse, physical warehouses that have Bitcoin in cold storage. These are private keys that are completely disconnected from the internet. Right now, ICE has 6 of them, warehousing and clearing securities, and they're already integrated with ICE futures. So they're gonna create a first regulated exchange that will also have the clearing and storage as part of the package deal with Backed. And another thing is, here's another thing to remember. Backed revenue, how are they making their money? It's actually going to come from trading fees and the fees from Bitcoin storage. I want you to remember that part, because at some stage as well, if they get approved, Backed will launch one-day futures as well. It will be settled in actual Bitcoin, not cash. So how this would work is that the broker dealer would, click on the posted price anytime during the trading day on behalf of a money manager client, and by the market close, the ICE clearinghouse would then have to arrange to route this cash from the buyers to the seller's account, and the Bitcoin tokens themselves would be en route to the Back's digital warehouse. And what I'm going to answer your question regarding the why it's supposed to be different from Bitcoin. But here's the thing. If you guys know about how Lightning Network works, you can have the best of both. I'll explain why. So Back plans to use open source similar, that's similar to Lightning Network, and they're going to keep most of their daily transactions off the chain. So this will enable like huge scale, and they'll only have to report occasional transactions being broadcast to the main network, and this will update the total value in their system. So for example, like when people first join, when people leave, instead of every single transaction between people or institutions already using the system, it'll only be when money comes in, when money comes out. And then once Wall Street really gets going in this, Bitcoin will gain liquidity, and they're hoping to become a more mainstream currency. And they predict, here's the thing, they think that multinational companies would then adopt Bitcoin for international payments, because the banks right now, they control international payments. And guess what? The system is very expensive. They're looking for alternatives. And, a lot of people are under the impression Bitcoin is either anti-establishment or it's under, or it's too late, it's under control of these hedge funds. Can
I interject a little bit? It's like being anti-establishment is appealing to millennials, but I don't know how much purchasing power millennials have. I mean, that's something that you can maybe educate me on. But also, it's like, when you're talking about getting like old money, like institutional investors in, like they have a much more relative perspective when looking at crypto. I mean, I was talking to somebody that this weekend, matter of fact, that he's a pretty affluent individual, and he asked me a very simple question. It was like, "Hey, Yusuf, will Bitcoin ever replace the dollar?" It's like, "Do you think the United States government will just allow Bitcoin to replace it?" And I didn't have an answer for that. So maybe you could expand on that, because again, I'm not a fundamental person. But if I was a guessing person with the limited information and foresight that I have right now, I can't see a situation where Bitcoin replaces the dollar as of right now. Maybe in a few years, maybe those things could change. But as of right now, I can't. So what are we really talking about as far as the cap or the ceiling for Bitcoin? Or is there no cap or no ceiling? Will the demand for Bitcoin be so, and other cryptos, altcoins alike, be so furious to where we could see just outrageous prices? Or are we a little bit too optimistic and we need a dose of reality? So just looking at things in a much more disciplined perspective, it's just like, I love crypto. I think we just started with crypto. I think we have a lot more expansion opportunity. I think we can still see incredible gains. But while we keep having these conversations with crypto having an affiliation, a dependency, an association with fiat and the dollar particularly, it just makes me more bearish, because why Bitcoin was originally intended it's turned into an opportunity for most of us looking to make money. But as far as the independence and sovereignty, the more institutional plays come in, we're losing that. Like help me understand how we're not losing that when the futures and contracts, those are all cash based. If you buy into ETF, it pays you in cash. It's not going to pay you in crypto. So does it pay you in crypto? Because from my understanding, it pays you in cash.
It will be in crypto with backed. That's what they're going to try and do with
the ETF will pay you in cryptocurrency.
So
because my understanding ETF pays you in cash.
So right now it hasn't been launched, but the one-day futures is going to be settled in Bitcoin, not cash. So it needs to be approved, and that will be designated with backed.
So you said the one-day futures?
Yeah. So I kind of explained. So the broker dealer, they'd click on that posted price at any time during that day, that trading day, and they can basically by market close, the ICE clearinghouse would have to arrange to route the cash from the buyers to the seller's bank account, and then the Bitcoin's tokens would be en route to the bank's digital warehouse. So this is something which they're working on. It's not approved yet. It needs approval, but ICE wants to be the first regulated exchange. Backed will be the one that will become the first it will provide the first regulated exchange to also have that clearing and storage as part of the package deal. But
essentially will be settled in cash. That's what you're saying. I mean, in Bitcoin.
In Bitcoin, yes, but that again, that needs to be approved. Right now, it's something that they've proposed, but we know with what's happening in the background with the CFTC, with SEC, these are, what can I say? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. They're all at some point, and the fact that ICE is the one with the infrastructure already in the traditional system in futures, they know what is required to get this cleared and approved. They're going to take, there's no two ways about it. In order to get the money managers on board, the mutual funds, the 401ks, the demand is coming. Sorry?
So how the ETF settled in Bitcoin?
This is going to be done by backed.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm gonna look. I mean, that's really interesting. Maybe I could do some more research on that, because I thought with the ETFs, like it was like almost like an index where like they took all types of different cryptos, and if it improved or whatever, then they would settle it in cash. That's not how it works.
But this is why backed is going to be different. This is why it's going to, they're saying this is potentially the biggest news. If this, again, we have to wait until the November launch to see how it really works out. But we need to first get, and they think that this makes it more likely for the ETFs to be approved, because ICE does have ownership of the largest, with ARCA, the largest marketplace for ETFs in the world, in terms of having regulations in place. But let me explain how it works, and why, on the base layer with Bitcoin, of course, it's decentralized, and of course, there's something like 7 transactions a second that gets done. It's too slow. So with the Lightning Network, just to give you an idea how this works, imagine Bitcoin like an onion. It's got layers. So they're saying the interesting thing about technology with layers is that you can have your cake and eat it, if it's done correctly. So one layer, you have all the activity that we see today, minus the Lightning Network. So you have, the expensive, slow, part that's going on with the blockchain, the actual chain itself. And, with the second layer, with the Lightning Network, that's where you'd be able to have all the extra activities without affecting the base layer. So think about, I'll give you an example. If you go to Coinbase, the website, you decide to check the price of Bitcoin, you don't expect that that actual web page that you're viewing is stored and loaded up straight from the blockchain, do you? So if you bought some Bitcoin as well from Coinbase, um, you know, you don't think it's a Bitcoin direct Bitcoin transaction, right? So this is happening off chain. So the only time you would create an actual transaction on the base layer, on the actual Bitcoin ledger, if you send Bitcoin to Coinbase or withdraw it to another site or to your own personal wallet. So they're going to be using existing, you know, the systems that touch the blockchain only as necessary. So, you know, what they're trying to do is basically copy Lightning Network. And Backed are building an extension in this. They're going to build on top of this. But here's the thing. In contrast to the Lightning Network, which is trustless and it's decentralized layer on top of Bitcoin, the one being built by Backed, it will be fully under their control. And this is necessary because of the regulation requirements, and it's restricted by KYC and AML. So basically what this means is you can have both. It's possible to have open, trustless networks as well as closed systems. So no matter what Backed builds, you know, you still will be able to interact with the base layer anytime you want. But it just means that investors and vendors, they can build on top of Bitcoin, and then they can create compliance systems that will appeal to, you know, investors, merchants, and traders. Here's the thing, you can't build trustless open systems on top of closed trust-based systems. But what you can do is build closed trustless systems on top of an open trustless system like Bitcoin. And that's what we're seeing happening right now. And this is why some people are excited about that, because the potential is huge. So basically, I want you guys to know there is a lot of momentum with this. And we're being disrupted by new technology that's displacing middlemen. That's a trend everywhere. But it doesn't mean that there'll be no central power structures in the new world. So I'll give you an example. You know, some large players, they're being displaced, but it means that other large players are displacing them. So what Backed might end up doing to MasterCard, you know, with their business, they can end up, if there's a shift of people going from credit cards to Bitcoin apps or apps like Backed and other things that get developed, then that's going to affect them. But then there'll be new, bigger companies coming into the space, the new industry. So, you know, at the you know, this is something that you can't, there might be a question that you might be asking, like, why, you know, why didn't the CEO of ICE just create his own cryptocurrency? Why doesn't, you know, the government just build their own cryptocurrency instead of building on top of Bitcoin? Here's the thing. You can't duplicate the community that's already been built over the last decade. You can't duplicate the miners. You can't replace the blockchain that's been going 9 years strong. You know, it's provided results, and it's not like a crazy theory anymore. It's got support from different crowds, from the geeks, the developers, you know, retail investors, and now it's going to be the largest financial institution.
I don't think Bitcoin really has that first movers advantage, if that's what you're trying to get to, in regards to a nationwide approach to blockchain incorporation. So like if the United States government wanted to push their own cryptocurrency with the limited exposure Bitcoin and blockchain technology has, I think there's a real opportunity. It's kind of like if I make the best shoe, right? And I go viral on Facebook, everybody loves my shoe. But Nike could turn around and do something very similar to mine and have a real opportunity to selling more shoes than I do. And these things happen all the time. So I don't find my solace in the first movers advantage. What I do find, but obviously there is some very passionate and enthusiastic people about crypto. But what I do find interesting is just like how we reason and rationale when it comes to cryptocurrency. So I get it. Like I see the institutional coming in, I see the custodial accounts coming in, I see big players, big names coming into the space, but I just feel like we're losing the message of what crypto was here. Well, Bitcoin particularly. I mean, blockchain technology has been around forever. And I think there's always going to be a space for that as far as a blockchain technology. But as far as our actual coins that we're putting our money into, I just keep hearing more of cash dependency, fiat correlation, fiat necessity to kind of, or desire. So like when we talk about these ETFs, like I really am curious about how they're being settled. So like if it is being settled in Bitcoin, that's how it's intended and designed. I don't understand how that works fundamentally, where if you have an ETF and you have all these coins within your portfolio, how it gets settled in Bitcoin. And I don't know, I thought that would be like counterintuitive. Like the reason why people want the ETFs is because they want cash. Like if they wanted Bitcoin, they would just buy Bitcoin. So I don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's in cash right now, but that's something that would that could change, and that's why BACT is taking.
So I mean, that's my point. If it's in cash, it's like I feel like I honestly feel like we're being suckered. I really just feel like this is a freaking joke. It's like it's a joke to me. It's like I love crypto, right? And I make this very clear. I think as far as price wise, we have not seen the top of crypto, but we need to remove, in my mind, like some of these barriers, some ceilings. Like as long as we're in cryptocurrency for cash, we're so like most of you guys came for the cash. Let's be honest. Can we be honest? So as long as we're pushing that same narrative and institutional money's coming in, pushing that same narrative, we're going from a revolutionary coin, Bitcoin, that could literally overtake the banks to being a cool toy people like myself and others get to trade. That's how I see it. I mean, it's going from a transformative technology that puts the power back in the people's hands to a cool toy we get to trade around. Yeah. And I hate to see that happen, but just looking like forecasting and being a cool toy, it could still be $1 million coin. It could still be $100,000 coin, being a cool toy. So I'm saying there's still a lot of money to be made. But when I look at the spirit of Bitcoin, it's like, what's happening here? Like we came for the Lambos, we want the cash, we want the gains. Because if that's really how we feel about Bitcoin, it shouldn't matter if it's 10,000 or 1,000. Because we're committed to the financial sovereignty and the big FU to the banks, right? But that's not the case. What we're seeing is people coming back in, institutional money coming back and say, yeah, we like Bitcoin only if we can get cash out this thing. We like Bitcoin only if we have custodial accounts that pay us in cash. Like they get it. They're like, yeah, we're rocking with you crypto nuts, but at the same time, we want our cash. So, and then and as crypto enthusiasts, we're saying we want the cash. We're saying we want the cash because that's what we want. Yeah. I mean, we look at utility and transactions. Like there's no way in heck I'm sending anybody Bitcoin. I'm not doing it. Like I'm not going to send anybody my Bitcoin. So until we're transacting with Bitcoin, it's like what will we buy in Bitcoin? Like there's things we can buy, but will we buy it in Bitcoin? That's the thing, because we have such an attachment. We as Bitcoin holders and enthusiasts, we much rather just spend it in cash. So it's like it's a self-defeating purpose. It's like I just think it's so stupid. Like our approach, and then how we internalize and interpret the news coming in. It's like until we can wean off the dollar, it's like, and maybe I need to step back. Like, what is Bitcoin for? And I'll ask you that. Like, why are we here? Like, why are we here? Why are we in this crypto space? Like, what was the purpose? Was it to make money? Or was it to have some financial sovereignty, some transactional value between person to person, to where there's no corruption, there's no malice, there's no bias, there's no manipulation? But we're seeing all of that. We're seeing all of that. I don't know crypto, Azzy. Am I just a pessimist?
No, listen, AKing, you're absolutely right in pointing out those concerns. And this is why it's a double-edged sword. And this is why you guys need to know what's being said as well as what's not being said and what they're doing. And the fact that they haven't addressed the tax implications, that there's more ETF related news that's going to come out in regards to what BACT is going to do as well. But this is what they've been saying, though. It's going to, speed up adoption by many months, even years. And it's interesting to see how the regulators would react as well, because all of this planning all depends on their approval. And given what happened with the Bitcoin ETF so far, this could be a bigger challenge than we dreamed of. But here's the thing. There's things that they're working on behind the scenes and we don't know. And if backed, even if it can deliver on a fraction of these promises, it's going to move the market. It will capture the imagination of certain newbies that coming into this space, because the way they be introducing this into the space could be with the Starbucks app. It could be with another app that comes out that's in their day-to-day life and they get into this world. Here's the thing that we can't stop.
The thing where I fundamentally have issue with is that adoption doesn't mean price increase necessarily. Just because things are adopted doesn't mean we're going to move. So if we can have adoption and Bitcoin go to $1,000, it adoption doesn't necessarily implicate we're going to see a surge in price.
Well, here's
the thing I understand.
Yeah, here's the concern as well. They're bringing in their bad banking practices as well. So, this is something that perhaps they could eventually have paper claims to Bitcoin as well. They could print out paper Bitcoin, and literally you could have different parties trying to claim on Bitcoin, and it's like, with the fractional reserve banking, we're printing out money and it's not backed by anything. This could be a possibility as well. So there's real concerns about, what they're going to do once they come into the space. Here's the thing, though. The Bitcoin's biggest defense is that most Bitcoins are stored off the internet. And it's going to make it hard for Wall Street to source the actual Bitcoins. And this basically will keep a lid on how much leverage.
When you say when most Bitcoins are stored off the internet, what are you implying?
So if they wanted to introduce, let's say they wanted to have paper claims, they wanted to print out paper Bitcoin, they could mention, with what the current system with the US dollars, they could do something similar with Bitcoin as well. It's with leverage financialization. So it basically mirrors like how the current system works with fractional reserve banking. That's an idea, that's a concern. The fact that liquidity is coming in from institutional investors could be seen as a good thing, but it could actually be bad. We don't know where that would be coming from, and there's bad type of leverage as well. So I will get to, I'll give you an example. So with OKX, a Hong Kong-based OKX exchange, they had a large futures contract. It was worth over $400 million. It ended up with such a big loss that it actually threatened the exchange solvency, because the loss consumed all of their guaranteed fund. And interestingly, they didn't speak a lot on this, but they're going to have some sort of guarantee fund back have as well. So OKX was creating unbacked claims to Bitcoin. So it basically, a financial institution would only ever need to guarantee a fund if it's creating a fractionally reserved asset. So it would, financial institution would be fully collateralized. I can't say that word, collateralized as well. So fully backed by an asset against what it creates, the paper claim for. So anyway, this is the thing. We do need to take a cautious approach to what's happening with the ETFs, with announcements like these from institutional players, and you know, the fact that they're going to come in and I mean, the price manipulation, as we know, has been starting from late last year. So this isn't anything new. It will get worse before it gets better. So the fact that they're saying, oh, we need more regulations before we come in, it's for their protection, for their capital, not necessarily for ours. And I think with the regulation, it means that we're going to be tracked more, we're going to be monitored more, they're going to establish some sort of control and divert our attention, divert our resources to them. But overall, this is something, you know, will help with the market gain in price when it does eventually. It's seen as a catalyst if there is a Bitcoin ETF being approved, and it's suspected it might be with the CBOE or with ICE, then this is going to be what helps to reverse the market. But again, we have to be very, very cautious about what their real intentions are. It's usually to benefit them and not retail investors, not the moms and pops. However, blockchain technology and, you know, with the people, with the real true pioneers and true believers in the space, they will still not get involved with anything related to what the government does or banking does. If they come up with their own cryptos or their own initiatives, they're not necessarily going to get involved with them, only with the ones that have been independent away from that, from traditional players. So you know, just be very mindful of these developments happening. Another thing I want to quickly touch on as well, on another development, there was another company, Body One. They have launched something that will allow you to. It's a blockchain-based gym. So basically, you get on a spinning cycle, and it will be equipped with chips. That will actually be linked with the blockchain. So each time you're using those cycles, you get rewarded in tokens. So the fitness industry have been trying to get into this space, and it will revolutionize it, because you're incentivizing behavior. So laziness for greed, for example. So if you don't have that motivation to go out to the gym, but if someone's paying you a certain amount of tokens that you can later perhaps convert to Bitcoin or any altcoins in the industry, and if that's going to be something you're going to use for your meals or whatever, that's motivation. That they think this is going to be a catalyst for a huge, a brand new sector in the fitness industry. And everything will be verifiable. Everything could be monitored in the blockchain. Also, they're going to encourage global competitions with prizes given in tokens. You'd be able to upload your data, and also exercise would be mining as well. It would be mining these tokens, and so you can take a share of the profit. So I wanted to mention that as well. But before I'll stop right there, because we covered quite a lot. But before I pass it to you, AKing, let me just say, guys, this guy has been working his tail off trying to figure out what's going to happen in the space. I don't think you guys realize the work that he puts in. He has sleepless nights, long, hard days. When the market recently, when the market was spiking because of the ETF, with other bullish news that was coming out, he was warning people to stay calm and saying, no, this is where I think, you know, what will happen. The price will go down. And guess what? He was proven right. So guys, you have to understand and appreciate a lot. This isn't a simple thing. So please, you know, throw up the likes, smash up the heart, and make sure you share. And hashtag charts, hashtag not financial advice, but listen though. Without further ado, AKing, take it away.
What's up? So appreciate that. So I mean, Bitcoin, as far as price is concerned, I mean, when we hit that $7,800 mark, I didn't think we were going to see prices higher than that. So, I mean, if you're bearish and you're always bearish, at some point you're going to be right. If you're bullish and you're always bullish, at some point you're going to be right. It's all about, timing and execution. So, I like my credit when the credit's due. When it's not due, I don't take it. So I didn't play Bitcoin perfectly, or as I should have, rather. But my general sentiment as far as how the market is hasn't really changed. So that's the thing with Bitcoin. It's like this whole thing with the ETFs and the sentiment was so high, we pumped crazy. And it had people thinking that Bitcoin was going to rally and surge and everything. It's crazy because although I didn't see that price pump coming, I thought 75, 700, then we'll sell off from there. And then we kind of, obviously went a little bit further than that. I just see much more bearish opportunity than bullish opportunity. And this isn't about, and another thing, guys, this isn't about like being right or being some forecaster, some magic mind. It's really just about like what I see on the chart and why I'm not enthusiastic about crypto. Well, as far as the short term, long term, of course, but short term, not so much. So it gives us an opportunity to accumulate more for the long term. But I really want people to understand that if you're looking to like get into crypto right now and just like, make 10x, 15x, I don't think that's going to happen right now. There might be an altcoin somewhere that pumps 40%, 50%, but generally, I think the market's in a downtrend. So we can take a look at that. I'm actually at some little hotel right now. I really want to get back to my spot, but my spot is somebody took my spot. Let me see what are people saying. Thanks, User Crypto Azzy, for your hard work. Thank you very much. Oh, absolutely, Eric, man. It's a pleasure. I mean, we enjoy doing this. So I wanted to speak to you guys. I'm not going to pull up a chart because we're running out of time, and I don't want to like fly through it. Matter of fact, maybe I should pull up a chart. One second. Let me take a look at something real quick. I'm going to show you guys something on Bitcoin. Something super simple, super clean, super easy to understand. And I'm going to pull up the 2-day chart. One second, guys. Let me pull this up. Policies alerts. So the thing about crypto, I mean Bitcoin, is that it feels to me that back in 2017, when things were kind of just extremely speculative, unknown, that price did really, really well. And then the more things started to get institutionalized and the more big money players, CPOE, et cetera, got involved, the faster the price started to sell off. So I've been speaking to that narrative, and I would love for that narrative to change. But as of right now, I just don't see it changing much. So let me pull this up. I'm about to log out of Facebook, Crypto Azzy. So if someone is commenting and stuff like that, let me know. If I want to see a chart, let me see charts. Hashtag charts. If y'all want to see a chart, I got a new hashtag. It's a hashtag my crown don't tilt. Hashtag my crown don't tilt. That's really just, for empowerment. Hashtag. Let me see. You seem like Cadillac. Hey, man. Me and my homeboy growing up, man, we used to push around this Cadillac DeVille, I think. It was that long body one. So I had my experiences in the old school caddies, but I'm more of a Honda Accord now. I'm more of a Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, economical, underneath the radar type of guy. I don't need any flash. I was actually talking to somebody and discussing like one of the worst purchases I ever made was like I bought a Audi A7 like a year ago. I ended up getting hit by like a drunk driver and I totaled it out. But that was like one of the worst purchases. Not that it wasn't a great car. I just felt stupid after buying it. It's like, who am I trying to impress? So I'm not glad I was in that accident, but I am glad that, I'm not just wasting money. So I really, really, really do not endorse buying and spending money frivolously, trying to impress people that don't care about you. So, let's always say Zen Cash, please. Okay, Eric, I'll take a look at Zen. It's up to you guys. Let me get some shares, let me get some hearts, let me get some hashtags. My hashtags are hashtags charts. My hashtags, another one of my hashtags is not financial advice, but listen though. And my last hashtag I just brought out is hashtag my crown don't tilt. So we're gonna have like crazy, and we're gonna approach this market with a little bit of power, a little bit of control, a little bit of influence. So those are my hashtags. If y'all want to bust up this charts, let me see them. Let's get it open. So I'm about to log out of here, Crypto Azzy. Let me know what the people are saying.
Yeah, I'm on the messages.
My internet's running a little bit slow right now. I'm trying to pull it up. And make sure they share the video. You know, it's free info.
Absolutely. Guys, share, smash up that like button.
Alrighty.
What are they playing in the background?
As some country music that just like lobby music.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like country music, just for anybody don't get me messed up. I listen to everything. The only thing I can't really listen to like techno. But outside of that, I can listen to anything. Like I'm with anything. But it was playing like some Bob Marley just now, man. It was playing like, I think I had you guys on mute. I was really jamming. Bob Marley speaks to my soul. Y'all understand? All right, so let's do this. Share screen. All right, so check this out, guys. This is a real simple Bitcoin chart. This might look a little different to you guys. And you guys seen my charts a million different ways as far as like my ideas and how I seen Bitcoin. So I just want to share with you guys a much more simple outlook. This right here is the 55 period moving average on Bitcoin. This black line is the 200 period moving average. So whenever the 50 and the 200, I use 55 because it's a Fibonacci number, but whenever the 50 and the 200 crosses, it's a sign of an uptrend starting and or a sign of a downtrend starting. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. And this is the 2-day chart. So if you notice, we had the blue line cross the black line back down here when Bitcoin was $372. And since then, we've obviously been a crazy buy run, right? Let's look at another cross. We crossed over here back when Bitcoin was $386. And we had a huge sell-off. We sold all the way back down to 162. So we basically, with this cross, basically price cut in half by the time we got here. So we don't have that much data to pull from, but we just take a look at the last two crosses. We crossed over here, we sold down by half. We crossed over here, we went up about 700%, something like that, or 7,000%. What was it? Let me see. Yeah, so about 4,500%, something like that. So we're getting another cross right here, guys. This black line had just crossed over this blue line. This is what you call a death cross on a 2-day time frame. This is a death cross. So let me take y'all back in reverse. So keep in mind, I've seen all of this, right? We in price, we went down to 5,700. We bought all the way back up. And then we got this potential reversal candle right here at $7,400. The high on this candle was 76. So right over here, I seen a break of this 200 period moving average, a retest of this 200 period moving average. And from here, I was thinking we were going to sell back down. That didn't happen. What we got instead was a bull fake. We pumped all the way back up and we sold back down. So these bull fakes, they're really hard to predict. And some people may argue they're impossible to predict, but they do happen. So we broke up and we sold back down. So in order for us to go bullish, we have to recross this line over here around $700-800. But frankly, guys, I don't think that's going to happen. It took too much time for this blue line to cross this black line. And if we were to go bullish, we should have happened back here. So for us to bull fake, then bear fake, and then go bullish, is an extremely unlikely event. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Can it happen? Absolutely. Absolutely, we can go bearish and then go right back going bullish. It's possible. the likelihood of that happening is extremely low, less than 20%. So as of right now, I have to remain with the sentiment, which is bearish, and then we're going to sell much lower. So I've said this before, and I'll say this a million times. Bitcoin, in my view, we have to go to $4,000. I just don't see how we miss $4,000. We have to see it. We have to shake hands with $4,000. We have to have that conversation. We need to have that talk with 4K. So I put up a survey, and it was like, which one are you going to see first, 10K or 4K? And I'm of the belief we're going to see 4K. I'm going to take a look at Zencash just because my man's asked me for Zencash. So Zencash doesn't have as much data, but let me pull the daily chart. So this is just the moving averages, guys, right? So we had, and let me see, do I want to take these moving averages off? I might go ahead and plot Zencash out for you. That's an ugly chart, though. All right, let's do it. Let me go ahead and plot this out for you. So this is where I see our support at right here, where Zencash is finding support. This was our upwards trend that just broke right here. So we just had this upward trend line that just broke on Zencash. And then let me see what else I can find. Do I see any angles in here? I mean, we could really even call this a bear flag if we really want to on Zencash. And we just broke down from there. We're retesting this 55 pair moving average on the daily. We're getting a little bit of a bounce. But ultimately, I think what's happening here with Zencash is that we're going to sell back down, which of no surprise. You guys know I'm generally pretty bearish on this market right now. So I think we're going to sell back down to, all right, so it's actually finding some support right here, the 0.786. So that's pretty healthy. So I think that once we're going to bounce a little bit here, I wouldn't be in a buy. I wouldn't be going long on Zencash unless we broke $28. I know that's a lot to not participate in. But I think we're in a downtrend. I think the downtrend is established. And I think we're going to see, ultimately on Zencash, I think we'll end up seeing a $8 Zencash by the time it's all said and done. We take this measure move as a bear flag right here. I think we'll do something like this on Zencash. So that's where I'm at on Zencash, about $8. I think we'll end up seeing. If I was in Zencash, I would stay in on Zencash until we got a reversal, probably somewhere around this $25 range. That's if we get there. I wouldn't be too hopeful, optimistic about that. And then I'll be looking to Zencash down. And honestly, in this alt market, I see the alts discounting 50%. My next target on Ethereum is 350, where I'm gonna slide back into Ethereum. How you doing? I'm gonna slide back into Ethereum and take it for a little bit of a bounce. What else did they say, Azzy?
Aeon, and the Origin Trails.
I'm not taking a look at any small coins, because the small coins, unfortunately, they're not on TradingView most often than not. There was another major coin though.
I'm just going through the messages. I can't see anything else being updated.
Let's take a look at Ethereum on the daily. So guys, this is my same Ethereum chart. If you guys notice, nothing has changed on my Ethereum chart. We have this head and shoulders. Matter of fact, let me put on the weekly chart so you guys can see better. That's how I drew it. So we had this head and shoulders on the weekly. We broke back down. The weekly closed bearish, and we're opening this next week bearish as well. So 358 is my next target. We'll get a bounce from 358. But ultimately on Ethereum, I have some very low end targets. I mean, I see Ethereum going back down to $100. I see Ethereum going up to $1,000. But like right now, where I am in the market right now, I'm bearish. Like I think we have to see 358 again. You know, I think that's the minimum we'll see on Ethereum. And then from there, we'll reassess. You know, we'll reassess. This is my general bias. My general bias can change. This is my general bias right now. It's still holding valid. 358 is my next target. Once we get to 358, we'll go in for a bounce, and then we'll see how far we bounce. And how the price reacts, Fibonacci levels, where things are, will ultimately sell back down.
Okay.
Let's take a look at
Nick
Ripple.
Ross is asking. Nick Ross is asking V-Chain. Ola is asking for Omisigo and Terrence Omisigo as well.
Cool. So I just want to do recaps on some of the coins that I plotted out. So like here's Ethereum, guys, on the weekly chart, and as you can see, Ethereum's still selling off. I think we have to see the bottom of this channel around 38 to 38 cents. I think we should get another bounce in Ripple, but I think Ripple's going to end up breaking down and selling off. And honestly, I think the next target on Ripple's around 24, 25 cents. Really. But yeah, 21 cents would be consistent. A nice 50% haircut. That'd be nice for Ripple. What else?
Omisigo
OMG.
and V-Chain.
Yeah, I think OMG is going to $1. I think I talked about that already. Let me see. I feel like I talked about OMG already. Yeah, so OMG right now, it just broke this 0.168. I told you guys my target on OMG was $5.30. It came to $5.30, pretty nice. We're now breaking that $5.30. The next target on that is $3.50. That's the next target. We're not going to stop there. I think the arguably where we'll find support is $1.60. So my money on OMG is at $1.60. That's where I'm buying OMG at. That's where I'm going long. And I can still lose money at $1.60. I mean, it can come back down to 46 cents. But I'll be okay with that. I'm going to go long at $1.60. I'm going to go long at 46 cents. Everything else is just noise. What else?
That's it in terms of the comments.
No, you said one other coin.
I said V-Chain, OMG, Aeon, Origin Trail, and that's it from what I can see. Zencash you already covered, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing, guys. I told, man, this is like perfect technicals. This looks really cheesy, but I said we had a double top on V-Chain. We broke resistance, support, retested support, and we sold off and we're selling. So for V-Chain, my next target on that would be probably around, my next target on that would be $1.25. And after that, we're looking at 46 cents. So I don't see why we're rushing. You know, like, let me see. Do I have any Fibonacci confluence there? Crap, that's way too deep. No, I don't got no fibs down there. But you guys can see, even with the Fibonacci extensions, we retested that one level, sold down with this big engulfing bearish candle. So I anticipate for us to have another bearish week, several bearish weeks, matter of fact, on crypto. Let's pull out TD sequential for you guys. We had a red 9, a green 1. We're about to get another red 1. So we're looking at another I would say, anywhere from 2 to 7 weeks of selling. Cumulatively, it's not going to sell in one straight line, but cumulatively 2 to 7 weeks. So that's how I see it. I don't see a reason to buy V-Chain. You know what's crazy though? I was looking at Poly.
Mm-hmm.
What's Poly I was looking at? I think it was Poly. Oh crap.
Also, one last one, ETC, please.
Electronum Classic. Yeah, Electronum Classic's on this pump, and everybody's crazy about it. Like, yeah, ETC. But I think we're not. I think we're it got listed on Robinhood or Robinhood or something like that. I forgot. Yeah, so we're on this nice little bull run on ETC, nice little bounce. I could see ETC going to, let me see, weekly chart. Yeah, this is all just fun and games. It's really just noise. Like we could retest this $19 range. Sure, that's fine. I doubt we'll get above that $19 range. What I think is going to end up happening is something like this. I think price is already spoken. This is the pattern right here. We're in like this flag. So we can retest the bottom of this flag, but we're going to sell back down. So I'm actually going to short ETC. I'm actually going to short it because I can. So I think we're going to go up like this and then sell down like this. So you should have got in somewhere over here. it's too late now. I know a lot of you guys are like, you know, y'all want to get in ETC. Honestly, I think it's too late. I think the move already happened. And I think we have a little bit left on it. It's high risk. I wouldn't get in there, and we'll sell back off. So we need to see it retest, sell. I really doubt we're going to just fly through this. I don't think that's going to happen. So that's how I see the markets.
Perfect.
Cool beans. Well, I think that should cover it all. I want you guys. Oh man, I got like no charge left on my laptop. So I want you guys just to, you know, be patient and be wise and just make, you know, smart investing decisions, informed investing decisions. This is not financial advice, but listen though, charts. My Crown Don't Tilt campaign 2018. My Crown Don't Tilt campaign 2018. It's about to be a real movement. Like we're gonna get some shirts made and it's gonna be like, my crown don't tilt. I'm gonna get some videos. So everyone that gets a shirt, they gotta do a video, you know, the crown just not being able to tilt. Like all my life, I couldn't get my crown to tilt. It's crazy. I got on a collar shirt and some shorts. Walking around. So we're gonna do that. And it's really just about education and empowerment through education and unity and just love. So that's the type of time I'm on. I just want you guys to have information, and from that information, do your own due diligence, your own research, invest at your own risk, invest in the things that you like and the things that you believe in. So I'm a believer in crypto. I don't like really what's happening fundamentally so much in crypto. It could be partially because I have a hard time understanding some of the metrics and in-depth levels maybe that crypto Azzy understands. That might be a possibility. But just from my more novice approach and opinion fundamentally, when I see these things and I hear these things, it doesn't give me encouragement yet. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully, you know, the ties and the tune that's being sang right now, you know, turns around. But as of right now, I'm still just bearish. I'm still just bearish on the market, just hanging out.
You have to obey those charts. Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think we could see a 3-figure BTC. I think we could see an $800, $900 Bitcoin. So until something changes, I'll just be hanging around, being bearish. So I mean, what else can I say? You know, I'm gonna be bearish. I'm gonna try to accumulate some of these pops because I know the market will come back, and my belief will come back. But as of right now, you know, it is what it is.
Yep. We need to experience more depression.
We need a little bit of pain. A little bit of pain is healthy.
But stay calm, stay patient. This is a patience game.
Stay calm, stay patient, and accumulate. You know, accumulate. Wherever you got in at, we're going to see new all-time highs, in my view. It's just going to take us a little bit of time. That's it. And now that these institutional money is in, I don't know if we're going to fly the way we flew in 2017. I think it's going to be a much more gradual crawl up. You know, I don't think we're just going to fly there. Maybe we do. You know, maybe the ETFs happen and we just get a, you know, even just the way price paints, in my view, is a lot more different, and there's a lot more manipulation in price. So we'll see how this thing plays out. Such a new market, so I can't speak definitively, but what I can say is I know we're trending down. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like we're in a good old down. It looks like we just started a really good downtrend. So let's see how this thing works out. Let's see how this thing plays out. Everybody stay tuned. Much love, much blessings to everybody. I'm out.
Thank you, guys. I'm out. Peace.